Now, back to Coastal Living on KZTV.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Coastal Living. We have our first special guest here on the show. Please welcome Heather Lenhart and Jeff Pullen. They are going to educate us about the science behind Emsculpt, available at Halcyon MedSpa. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so tell us a little bit about these giant machines that we're looking at. They can work some magic on us.
Yes.
Absolutely. So the first one here is called Emsculpt. So what Emsculpt is, it's high intensity focused electromagnetic energy.
Okay.
So what happens is we're basically forcing your body to do muscle contractions that you couldn't do on your own.
Love it.
So contractions you couldn't do at the gym, more intense, and they're called supramaximal contractions.
Okay.
So we put you through a kind of a series of workouts here. It's about a 30-minute treatment, and you're doing equivalent to 20,000 crunches or 20,000 squats.
So that ongoing joke, you're like, oh, 1,000 for push-ups. This is actually pretty accurate. 20,000.
That's right.
That's
In 30
insane.
minutes.
Also physically impossible. So. All right, and Heather, tell us about the TrueSculpt.
Yeah, so the reason we brought TrueSculpt in to talk about with the Emsculpt is because what TrueSculpt does is it actually targets fat loss. So what independent researchers found is if you can heat a fat cell up to 45 degrees Celsius and maintain that heat, it actually signals the cell to die, the fat cell specifically. So we use this machine to heat the skin, and in turn that heat is transferred into the fat tissue. The fat tissue heats up, we maintain that heat, and then about 3 months later all your little fat cells start dissolving and dying. So they're great treatments in conjunction because the Emsculpt, because of the intensity and the frequency of the muscular contraction, you do get some heat in that fat tissue or adipose tissue. So you will get about 19% fat reduction with the Emsculpt, but it's great to debulk first with TrueSculpt because you get about a 23% fat reduction with TrueSculpt. So we can debulk with TrueSculpt, build muscle, and further debulk with Emsculpt in conjunction.
Interesting. So you recommend doing TrueSculpt first if you're going to do both as a process, or is it something you want to sort of alternate?
It depends on the person. If we have somebody that's really close to their BMI, their target weight, and they're looking to really build muscle and sort of get more definition, then there's not necessarily a reason to do the TrueSculpt first. We would just go to the Emsculpt.
Sure.
But if we have somebody that we really need to debulk first and get rid of some of the adipose tissue above the area, then yes, the conjunction of them would be great.
Okay, very interesting. And these both seem pretty time efficient. You mentioned a 30-minute, about 45 minutes with this one, depending on how many areas.
We can do the 6 areas in 15 minutes.
Oh,
and this is one area.
Yes.
So we could do like 6 of these together in 15 minutes.
And this is actually pretty amazing. I've tried the TrueSculpt, and it's really interesting that there is so much technology out there that, of course, there's still no miracle drug or miracle product or miracle procedure to completely change you, besides some of the other things that are offered. But, you know, with these types of things, it really is great to get you to get off those final few pounds, or if you know, had a baby and there's some loose skin that you want to tighten, things like that, that's really important. So this one, the Emsculpt, is this one that's responsible for that non-surgical booty lift I keep hearing about?
It sure is, absolutely.
How does that work? It's just like you did 20,000 squats, is it the same thing?
So it takes you beyond what you could do in the gym. So in the gym, you're injuring the muscle, you're tearing the muscle. This completely bypasses that whole process. So we're focusing the energy to the motor neurons in the muscle, and these contractions, when they're forced, it actually builds the existing muscle fibers, but we're also inducing hyperplasia, which means the formation of new muscle fibers, which has never been done before.
Okay, and I think we've got some before and afters to look at so that you guys can see the proof is in the pudding here.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
That's great, right?
And yeah, and you can see that that's, okay, so 12 weeks after the 4th treatment. So of course with a lot of these, you're not going to see crazy intense results the second you walk out. It's something that takes time for the fat to sort of dissolve.
The fat to dissolve and the muscle fibers to build.
Exactly.
You will notice a difference. I mean, I've done both of these, obviously, right? I've done Emsculpt on my abs and also on my booty, and I noticed a difference in my abs after just one treatment.
Really? Great.
I will say that I'm about 6 weeks post a full series treatment on my Emsculpt, and I was working out with my trainer a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Man, Heather, your booty's looking bigger," and I was like, "Well, that's kind of you, but it's also really actually Emsculpt."
Mostly the Emsculpt. And one really great thing about being the host of this show is that I get to try really great products like these. So we're going to try out the Emsculpt.
That's right.
On my stomach. And this one we're able to do over my shirt, which is TV friendly. That's great. And while we get set up here, that's why I remove my belt, and we're going to stick this into my lower abdominal area, which is every woman's probably favorite and primary part of their body that they want to tone up. And is this going to make me go like,
we'll start out a little slowly, so you'll feel just a little bit of a sensation.
Go all the way, all the way. That is so cool.
So crazy, right? And one thing that I like that I want to point out about Emsculpt is that it has been shown through independent studies. They watched women who had diastasis recti, or that separation of their muscles after childbirth.
Yes.
And through MRI, they actually were able to prove the muscles coming back together and that diastasis healing.
I want to know if
which is very difficult to do.
Abs tightening up. That is so cool.
Isn't that cool?
I can really feel that. And who's a good candidate for this? Can anyone do it? You can. My voice is changing. This is great. Let's see.
Yeah, so basically everybody's a good candidate.
Oh, I like it. Keep
now,
going,
if we do have somebody who has a large amount of fat tissue, we may need to debulk with the TrueSculpt first, but somebody like you'd be a great candidate to go straight for the Emsculpt.
So basically I'm gonna have ripped abs after this. I can feel this like all the way down in my legs. This is really, it's interesting. It really does, sometimes, you know, so to get, especially with abs, and you can't, you can't, what do they say? You can't do abs in the gym. You can't spot treat. It's all about diet and exercise in conjunction, right? So with this one, I mean, you really feel it toning as if, and my voice is changing because it's a really intense sensation. It's really hard to target, especially abs, to like really focus on that diastasis or flexing or making sure that your core is really tight to get the proper form, to get the results you're looking for. And with this, I mean, I feel everything contracting. You can hear it in my voice. You can see my whole body, my posture changing. And so you guys actually have a special for our viewers to talk about. Tell us about that.
So a full treatment series with Emsculpt is 4 sessions, but it's nice to have a 5th session to kind of touch up or tone up like at 3 or 6 months later. So what we're doing for our viewers is when you buy the 4 sessions, you get that 5th touch-up treatment free.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. I want to hang out with this thing on all day. I feel like I'm going to look like, who do I want to look like? Either way, I'm going to hang out with this thing on. You guys have been very informative, and I think this would really make a very special gift for that lady in your life who maybe is kind of hard to shop for, somebody who's looking to get that final touch. They've been working really hard on their body and they want to finally see those last results that they're looking for. You can hear it in my voice. This thing is working some magic. I'm going to keep toning my abs. Thank you to our guest from Halcyon for joining us. Get in touch with them, take advantage of that deal, and it could make the perfect holiday gift for that lady or gentleman.
Yeah, and just in time for spring break, so 3 months.
That's right.
Yep, so we're just getting into that area where if you're thinking about getting treatments done for spring break, these take about 3 months to see results, so you're getting right in that sweet spot.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Now.